Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Nat Walsh here with you again. I am playing with Floral Frames number 4 and 6 and the Happy Birthday Thanks Inky stamp. We're gonna make a slimline card today. I am placing all my stamps down. I'm going to use the grid mat to just make sure they're lined up equally. I'm also going to put the thanks happy birthday, well, it's the sentiment, the stamp set is thanks happy birthday Inky. We're going to use the thanks part of that and we're just going to place it in the middle, but I am going to play with the positioning of these stamps for a little while because I like to show you everything, or pretty much everything apart from the boring parts. I've got some black ink because we're going to use some Copics to color these babies in. The bluebells down the bottom are relatively simple to color. We're just going to have some darker imaging at the base of the little flower. The other flowers, they're a little bit more complicated and we're going to have a discussion about those. Because there's a few different ways that I see people colouring in, and I don't believe anything is right or wrong because honestly I am not a, should we say, a trained artist. I never went to school for this sort of thing. I've learned as I go. So I've got BV17, I've got BV13, and I'm going to go down to a BV02. I'm just putting the darkest in at the base of the little bluebell. I knew I was going to say that. They're not bluebirds, they're bluebells. All the photos that I looked at, now, I mean, of course you can color these whatever you want. It's your card. You can do how you see fit. But the colors that I saw on Google were very, well, the barley blue BVs. There you go. Clearly you can just color them whatever you want. I am trying to, as I said, put the darkest down the bottom, more so on the point that the bluebell on top is going to be sitting over that a little bit, but mostly just so I can get a definition. But they're so little tiny, gorgeous little images that it doesn't particularly matter so much. I am trying to give a little bit of movement to the bluebell, but I want to talk about that when we get up to the little pansies because I think it's a little bit easier to explain. The center of the bluebells are also a little bit darker. I did a stippling effect, so where you just dot ever so slightly just to give it a little bit of texture because, I mean, you do have that darker center right in the middle and they have the, oh my gosh, I've forgotten the name of them. Stamens. We're just going to call them stamens. I'm pretty sure that's what they are. The leaves on both of these images are going to be the same. The G07, G14 and YG03. They're some of my favorites to color with. I'm trying to give the idea that the leaf that's bending over there that I just colored in, a little bit of definition to the end that the sun is sort of coming down. Now, see with the little petal that I'm coloring right there, can you see the one on the outside on the left? You can see it has a very defined, this is how I color it in. You have a defined line that moves outward to the left and then it moves into the right. It's that movement of into the right. Now everyone colors things a little bit differently. That movement to the line that's drawn going into the right, that's where my image is going to be raised up. So where it sort of bulges out away from the center of the flower, I'm going to make that my deeper. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it to you because it's not the easy concept, but once you see it, you've got it. That is going to be the part that is a little bit more folded in. You can sort of see where I've got my hand there, that I have that bit there. Where it sort of moves out, that to me is going to be the part that is in the foreground a little bit. So where it is drawn and that it is drawn towards the center of the image, that is going to be the area that is raised up like a ruffle on a skirt. Do you get my point? That's how I like to color them. I've seen people going completely the different other direction. What's right, what's wrong, I don't know. Don't stress about it, is more of the point. As long as you're sort of doing it a uniform way, right? And these images here are very, very small. You can sort of see where the other ones, especially over on the right hand side, you can see a very definite V on the part that is moving away from the center of the flower. It's a little bit harder when the flower is like almost like on a side profile, like this little flower is here. So we've got V15. That is my center. Now that's quite a different sort of tone and intensity to the other ones. The BV02 and the BV000 are obviously a lot less intense color, and the saturation being a 5 V15, that is, it's got more of an intensity. But so I'm putting that color right in the center because it is a deeper saturation, so it is a little bit of a darker color. But these little flowers, they're pretty stinking cute either way. So we're just going through, and I'm pretty much going through using my same sort of combination of working my darkest color and then having my, can you see that one I just did? I just put my hands over the top of it. If I can point, I would love to be able to point. We need a point. I could probably put a little arrow on this, but I'm not that great with my editing as of yet. But you can see the little dash lines that we've got in there. And of course, at the top, as I said before, we've got that little V. I'm going to trim this down a little bit just because it was a little bit to the left of my image. So we trimmed off a tiny little bit of that. Next thing I've got is I wanted to see whether a little bit of a different color base, matte base on it is going to work out fine. This is where everything goes screwy. I don't really know what happens, but the foam tape, when I put it down the very first time, it is completely just kittywampus, just off. So I'm going to use a ruler here and try and trim off. I'm going to save you a little bit of time, but we're going to make it a very fine border because the foam tape that I use that we get here in Australia, she's stuck down. She's well and truly stuck down, but generally speaking, but there was no way I was going to get this up. No way. So I've trimmed all that down. We're going to put that down with a little bit of glue because I like to have a bit of room for movement. And that's almost it for my card. If you're liking the content, we would love if you hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell to get notified of whenever we upload any new content. I've got some little clear sequins that are currently not available over in the Paper Rose store, but this clear sequins are pretty, I think a lot of people have some clear sequins, so hopefully they come back very soon. I'm not going to keep these 2 dots here, 2 sequins here, and we're going to play around that. I'm adding some in the center of my images and on the outside just to give it a little bit more, it's all joined together basically. It's not all joined, it's not a couple of images just, shall we say, poof down onto a piece of cardstock. So that is my card. I hope you're well, I hope you enjoy it, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.